Go ahead and call the regular City Council meeting for Monday, August 19th, 2019 to order. Start out by asking the clerk to take roll call.
Roll call, Mayor Garrett, Mayor Pro Tem Cantor,
Present.
Councilmember Ferguson,
Present.
Councilmember Siddiqui,
Here.
Councilmember Stallings,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem, you have a quorum.
All right, I'll invite all those that wish to do so to do the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Take a motion to excuse.
So moved.
Second.
All right, any discussion? All those in favor of excusing Mayor Garrett from tonight's meeting, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We have the agenda. To take a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All right, any discussion? Changes?
This is a slight change.
Okay.
Not the agenda as we get down to the Planning Commission and the City Council joint
Reports?
meeting.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
the
joint-
report. There's a section missing in there. I'd like to add.
Okay, well, we'll get to when we get to the consent agenda.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so all in favor of the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, agenda is approved. Next, we'll look for the look to approve the consent agenda for the July 22nd, 2019 council study session meetings, the July 22nd council meeting, and the August 5th, 2019 joint meeting with the Planning Commission and the DDA. Motion for that?
So moved.
Second.
All right, motion's been approved. Any discussion?
Yeah, just a slight change for, let me just find a page here. So for the joint meeting with Planning Commission, it's on page 14 through 18. There's a section in here where we were discussing strengths of any Lathrup school. And part of that was we had a strength of rideshare and autonomous vehicles. We didn't account for that. And we actually discussed it, but it's not stated here, so I'm not sure how we can adjust that. City Clerk. Page 15, section where it says Village Center Opportunities.
Mm-hmm. To any Lathrup school, there's another opportunity. Is that what you're speaking of?
Yeah. It's an opportunity for rideshare and autonomous vehicles.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other changes?
Nope, that's it.
All right, I had one on page 7.
Okay.
In the public comments section, second sentence, it says the developers of the townhome have placed parking on 10 feet of, it shouldn't be his property, it should be the city's property. The complaint was 10 feet of the city property had parking on it. Anything else?
No, nothing for me.
All right, so discussion's closed. So all those in favor of the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So consent agenda is approved. Next, we'll move on to the consideration for approval of the disbursement reports. The first one being the disbursement period of July 1st, 2019 through, I really need to bring my glasses here. Does that say May?
May
No, wait.
yeah.
Oh, right. Okay, July 1st, 2019 to May
Should be 7th.
15th, 2019 for $61,413.45.
Yep.
I make a motion that we accept the disbursement period from 7/1/2019 to 5/15/2019 for $61,413.45.
Second.
All right, any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next, we'll consider the improvement of the distribution report for the period of 7/16/2019 to 7/31/2019 for $413,931.17.
I'll make a motion to approve the disbursement report for the period July 16, 2019 through July 31st, 2019 for $413,931.17.
Second.
Any discussion? All right, all those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, motion passes. Next, we'll move on to the consideration of the exceptions of the department reports. It starts on page 27. Do I have a motion?
So moved to accept the department reports.
Second.
All right, any discussion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor of accepting the department report, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. At this point, we will move on to the public comment portion of the meeting. And I guess we will start out with a presentation for Summer in the Village for the Caribbean Fest 2019. And I believe Councilman Ferguson is going to read something first.
Yeah. Before I do that, I just want to give everyone an update on the Lathrup Village Summer Stroll, which was yesterday on a Sunday, and we had a really good turnout. For those of you who don't know what that's about, it's we designated several houses where we had live bands perform in front of those houses. It was along Lathrup Boulevard and also Golden Gate, as well as California Southeast, and then we closed it out right at the end of California Southeast with 2 additional bands and a jam session and also a barbecue. So on behalf of the Time Bank, where it originally started, as well as Adam Laurie, who was the organizer and also a musician, I want to express my appreciation to have the village come together again in a musical accord, and we appreciate what he's done over the last couple of years. And in addition to that, we've had several volunteers, several people that are interested in volunteering for next year. So we're moving to the 8th year, and we ultimately want to get to the 10th year where we're going to have a larger event. So that's really our goal for the next 2 years. So I appreciate everyone's effort, and also we just had a good time, especially in front of Salim's house.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's a great event, once again. Great event.
Yeah, it was. So, which leads us to the next
Great event.
fabulous event. Lathrup Village on September 14th is going to hold its first ever Caribbean Fest. It's a Caribbean festival, celebrates diversity and the rich Caribbean culture. That's going to happen September 14th. This fest in Lathrup Village, obviously, will have sights and sounds, flavors of the island. Will obviously be taking over our beloved Lathrup Village behind the City Hall, and the Caribbean Fest theme of the Lathrup Village 2019 Summer in the Village. Obviously, it's going to be great. We will have a personal Caribbean-style parade that will probably start at the end of California Southeast and come around to the park where California Southeast ends, and then they will turn into the park, and then at that point we'll kick off the festival. And to just give you a taste of the islands and what we're going to provide to the city, we have a couple of young ladies in costume that we'd like to present, and Sophia Chu will come up and introduce a little bit and give us some flavor on the Caribbean Fest.
Is it on?
Yes, it's on.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Thank you for the opportunity to share with you my culture. My name is I didn't call you yet now. That's what happens when you work with anxious young ladies, so just bear with us a few minutes. But allowing us to share our culture with you here in Lathrup Village. We're a very strong community in Michigan. We've been here since the 1800s, and I am very pleased and honored that you guys have asked us to be a part of your city. So what we're going to do is introduce you to a main part of the Caribbean festivals. As everybody understands, it is the parade. This afternoon we have 2 young ladies that are representing 2 different countries, but in particular I want you to pay attention to the headdresses, because these are made by a local customer in the city of Detroit, and he is a main part of the festival. So So first we're going to ask Naja Swire. She is representing the Dominican Republic. She's wearing their flag colors, and notice how nicely that pans out into her headdress. That's made by Caribbean Mardi Gras Production, and they are the persons that are putting together the costumes and the workshop for Lathrup Village. And next we have your very own community member, Miss Sasha Ferguson.
Sasha.
And she is representing the beautiful country of Haiti, wearing one of their wonderful costumes. Please note the hibiscus, which is their national flower, that's embedded in the costume itself. Again, the headdress is made by Mardi Gras Production, and your community members will have an opportunity to learn how to design and make their own headdresses on September the 7th here at the City Council building at 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. We do have links that are available, so your community members will be able to sign up and be a part of this great festivity. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and we look forward to making this an annual event, and then maybe even a 2-day event. Thank you, guys.
Really appreciate that.
Thank
The
you.
headdress was September when?
September the 7th.
A week
We're
before.
doing a
Okay.
week before, and then we're doing an RSVP reception the Friday night before, and that's actually downstairs. also.
Okay.
So
So
the
the headdress, those that make the headdress, can
They
they be a
will be
part
there.
of the
Oh,
parade?
absolutely. That's
Okay,
the whole
That's what I
idea.
wanted to know. Okay,
That's
great.
the whole idea.
Yes,
So
yes.
the RSVP is the 13th? 13th
Yeah,
of September.
the reception is the 13th.
Yes,
So let's back up. The workshop is on the 7th
yes,
from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m.
yeah.
The RSVP reception, which is again a different flavor of our different countries, that's the one that we actually thank all the sponsors also to be a part of this event. So that'll be on the Friday before the event. And then bright and early, as the cock crows, we'll be here on Saturday morning. We're setting up at about 9:30 with a parade kicking off promptly at 11 o'clock. And we'll be here till 9 o'clock that night.
Yep, yep. All right.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Thank
just,
you.
there's one
Thank
more
you.
observation. So I see the wonderful costumes, and obviously in the parade is going to be a larger, there are a couple of large pieces that Ralph will be.
Large pieces so huge that
Yes.
I remember wearing them downtown. They had to pull the light poles up, the street lights up, so we could get through there because you have them on wheels.
Yeah, oh, nice.
Wonderful.
Okay. Appreciate that.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ask a quick question. So do we have flyers or anything promoting the event?
Yeah, we actually
It's in
do.
your packet.
Yes, we have flyers. You can also see the links on the website as well as on Facebook. There's an Evite for people to RSVP. And we're asking people, it's not a cost to participate in the parade and the festival, but we are asking people to register so we can get a sense of the head count for the event.
We actually have over 300 people that have RSVP'd so far.
Oh, nice.
Really?
Wow.
Great.
Yeah, it's
Excellent.
going to be fun.
Yeah.
It's gonna-
I did notice that one of the models had a similar last name to you.
No
All right.
comment.
I'm going to be out of town, but I'll be there on the 7th.
Yeah.
All
Thank
right,
you.
so thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
So much.
At this point, anyone else who has any business that's not on tonight's agenda and would like to come up to the mic to speak, you can do so now.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is James Farrell. I live at 27040 Lathrup Boulevard. And I'm as tired if that's a word, as you guys are of me coming down here speaking on this matter. I live next door to this development at 11 Mile and Lathrup Boulevard. And a few months ago, I came in and held up a notice of furnishing. And I gave a copy to Pat, I believe it was. I never heard anything about that. Well, 2 weeks ago, I got another notice of furnishing from the same company, as it turned out. But today, I got a claim of lien, I believe it is. A lien has been placed on my property for $45,000 for some work that's being done on the townhouse development. It came by certified mail. Now, I communicate with the company, trying to tell them that I have nothing to do with what's going on over there. But to no avail, he went on and put a lien on my property. I called Register of Deed today. They said, indeed, there is a claim on my property. And I have nothing to do with what's going on with that development. As it turns out, it seems that in this claim from N&J Construction of Metamora, it has, again, my legal address of my property, and then it has my name with an address of, let's see, what is it? Of 814 CRE LLC, that's 1732 Crooks, Troy, Michigan. As it turned out, this is the same address that I was given that belonged to Pat and Son Consolidation, who's developing over there. Now, why my name? I said my name, but the last spelling of that name is not my name. My name is F-E-R-R-E-L. They have an F-A-R-R, but I assume it's me because they got my property's legal description.
Right.
So, to me, the initial bill that they were charged, that the subcontractor charged, was like $123,000. It seems that somebody paid them $77,000 and so much, and then there was a balance left of $45,000 plus. And that's what a lien's been placed on my property for. Now, this would not be an issue if Pat and Son Consolidation, I believe it's Fenton, if Mr. Fenton would pay his bill, the issue would go away. I don't see any reason why my property should be held liable for him not paying his bill. Something is wrong with that. That's all I have to say.
I'm going to direct that to you.
Yeah.
No, I have another question.
Oh, yeah.
You mentioned something early on about the
Oh,
10 feet.
I was just correcting the meeting minutes, which when you were here last time, you had talked about the fact that they are parking on that lot, and it was misinterpreted into the minutes. So I was just correcting the minutes.
Okay.
So, Mr. Farrell, I think you brought this up last time with respect to the notice of furnishing. For whatever reason, the developer, Lathrup Townhomes, has identified your parcel number as their parcel number. So they have to provide to all of their contractors and suppliers what's called the notice of furnishing, indicating this is where the work is to be done if we don't pay you. So that's an error on their part. Unfortunately, there's nothing the city doesn't have any control over that. But that's something that definitely you should pursue with them. And if you stick around after the meeting, I can talk to you more about that. But yeah, that's an error on the developer's part that shouldn't happen. You're absolutely right. There should never be a notice of furnishing in your property, and there certainly shouldn't be a claim of lien on your property for their development.
We're going to figure it out, so please stick around if you
Yeah.
can. Okay?
Wow. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, we apologize.
Very sorry
I mean, all
that
we
this
can do
has
is
happened.
apologize from a city
Yeah.
perspective and try to right the wrong, and try to give you some guidance on how we can correct it.
Yeah.
Anyone else have any business that they want to share? Okay, then we will close the public hearing. Oh, no, it's not a public hearing. Public comment section. We don't have a public hearing. And so we'll move on to the action requests. So for the first action request is considering the approval of a resolution authorizing special license application for a temporary liquor license, and I'll let the city administrator introduce that.
Thank you. In relationship to the Caribbean Fest and also the upcoming Fall Fest, what you have before you is a resolution to approve the liquor license application that will go to the Michigan Liquor Control Commission. So those dates are September 13th for the Caribbean Fest with Taste of the Islands VIP reception, September 14th, the Caribbean Fest beer and wine tent, and October 19th, the Fall Fest.
Okay, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to authorize MLCC special license application for the Caribbean Fest dated September 13th and September 14th, 2019.
And the Fall Fest.
Fall
And the Fall Fest, sorry, I apologize, and the Fall Fest.
Is there a second?
Second?
All right, any discussion?
Yeah, I have a quick question. And I kind of skimmed through the contract, but is there a disclaimer? I mean, do we have to be concerned with disclaimers? Should someone become intoxicated and something happens with these licenses? Do we have a disclaimer that keeps the city out of any potential trouble that could come up?
Well, the city, I mean, yeah, that's part of they're going to have to, there's certain parameters that they have to adhere to when, after obtaining the special license, they have to make sure that their servers are trained. I think in the past, we've always hired professional bartenders. I'm not sure what the plan for these events.
And we're
but-
making plans for at least one staff person to have the state training as well.
So, and that is what the precautionary measure, I should say, that the city's taking to, but yes, the city is potentially liable, just as any other establishment that would sell or furnish alcohol if they were to overserve, which is why it's important that the city follows through with
The
procedures.
training?
Yeah, the
You
training.
said someone is getting,
Yes.
okay. Okay, that was my only concern.
Anything else? All right, all those in favor of authorizing the special license application, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the motion carries. Move on to item B, which is on page 91 of your packet, which is to consider the approval of an agreement for professional services with Giffords and Webster for the Lathrup Village Comprehensive Plan. And again, I'll direct that to the city manager to introduce.
The city's planning firm, Giffords Webster, has submitted a proposed contract relative to the updating of the 5-year master plan. In conjunction with that, they will also be assisting us with the updating of the Parks and Recreation Plan and Downtown Development Plan. The total cost for this contract is $52,700. Because we are a member of the Redevelopment Ready Community Program, we are getting a grant from the Michigan Economic Development Corporation for $25,000. The balance of $27,700 will most likely be paid through the Downtown Development Authority. So you have the contract before you for your approval.
Okay, do I have a motion for the approval?
So moved.
Second.
All right, any discussion?
I have a question. It says that the work is going to take place between 12 and 17 months. With that being a 5-month window, the cost won't go up either way. If it's the same cost, if they give us, supply what we need at 12 months as opposed to 17 months. Am I reading that
It's based on
right?
the scope of services that will be performed, so unless there's an expansion of the services, that contract amount is firm.
It's firm. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, there are some allowable expenses,
Yeah.
for production of materials and things like that, but yeah, it's a
But
fixed
the cost is
fixed
the
price,
cost, 'cause
yeah.
that's so.
All right, anything else?
Okay. That's all I had.
All right, all those in favor of approving the agreement for professional services with Giffords and Webster for the Lathrup Village Comprehensive Plan, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. For next action request, letter C, it's an ordinance to amend the City of Lathrup Village Code of Ordinances, and I will let the city attorney introduce that.
Right,
On
this
page
is-
102 of your packet.
This is actually the second reading of this. This was introduced and approved, the first reading was approved last month. What this essentially does is this updates our ordinance to reflect the latest version of the International Property Maintenance Code, which is the 2018 edition. Currently, the city is utilizing the 2006 edition, so time for an update is long since
Wow.
overdue. But additionally, in addition to adopting the updated code, what this also does is it cleans up there was some language, some confusing language in our ordinance that gave the building official certain authority that wasn't necessarily something that the city intended the building official to have with respect to code enforcement. So this cleans this up and relies upon the property maintenance code as the basis for our property maintenance enforcement.
Okay.
Okay, do I have a motion to consider?
I make a motion to approve an ordinance to amend the City of Lathrup Village Code of Ordinances at Chapter 14, Buildings and Regulations, Article 6, Property Maintenance Code by deleting Article 6 in its entirety and replacing as follows. In order to adopt the 2018 edition of the International Property Maintenance Code as the Property Maintenance Code for the city, and to include the necessary additions, insertions, and changes to the Property Maintenance Code necessitated by the adoption.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, all those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Move on to the consideration for approval of the first reading of an ordinance to amend the Lathrup Village Code of Ordinances, which regulates illicit discharges in the city. So again, I'll turn that over to the city attorney to introduce the motion, or to introduce the concept.
This ordinance was recommended to us by the state. MDEQ has requested that we adopt an ordinance that specifically deals with the illicit discharge of stormwater into our stormwater sewer system. About 11 years ago, we adopted something very similar to this, dealing with discharge into our sanitary system. But again, this is something that has been requested of us by the state, so it's what their intent is that all communities will have the same language, which makes enforcement easier and consistent as you go from community to community. So I indicated to council in study session, we really don't have very many or any industrial users that I would anticipate would fall under the purview of this ordinance, but as requested by the state, we are complying and are adopting or recommending adoption of this illicit discharge ordinance.
Okay, is there a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the ordinance to amend the Lathrup Village Code of Ordinances to amend Chapter 30, Article 2, to add Division 1, which regulates illicit discharge in the city.
Second.
Okay, motion seconded. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Next, we'll move on to the consideration for approval of the renewal of the MML Meadowbrook liability and property insurance pool. And I will let, this is on page 117 of your packet, and I will let the city administrator introduce that.
Okay, this is the annual renewal of your liability and property pool insurance. The rate for last year was $71,445. This year, there is a increase of $6,495, making that $77,940. And also, we will be receiving upon renewal the dividend of $6,878. So essentially, it's a flat amount in regards to the renewal for the insurance.
All right, do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve the renewal of the MML Meadowbrook liability and property pool insurance.
Second.
All right, any discussion? If there's no discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Next, we'll move on to page 134 in your packet, which is the appointment of members to the marijuana study group. So again, I'll have the city administrator introduce that.
Well, if you recall, after we had the town halls in regards to the marijuana licensing, the council had directed that we would create a study group to look at this further before making recommendations relative to what, if any, licensing should be appropriate for our community. So we have received applications from Don Eichstadt and Carl Woodson, and they're both here. And for your consideration, and the mayor has recommended their appointments for the terms ending December 31, 2020.
Do we have a motion?
I make a motion to appoint to the marijuana study group the terms ending December 31st, 2020, Don Eichstadt and Carl Woodson.
Second.
All right, any discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so welcome to the marijuana advisory group.
Yeah.
Thanks for volunteering, we
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Really important, and we look forward to your input as we talked about earlier. So,
Yeah.
Very good. Didn't we say earlier, too, that we had room for,
5 total.
for 3 more? So if anyone is interested in getting on this committee, send in a note or contact the city administrator.
Yes, we have the applications online, or you can contact the clerk's office for an application if someone else in the community is interested in participating.
Very good.
And that'll take us to the last action request, which is the appointment of Recreation Advisory Committee members, page 137 of the packet, and I will turn that over to City Administrator once again for introduction.
So you have a 7-member board, and last meeting you appointed 3 individuals, and today you have recommendation from the mayor to appoint Virginia Franklin and Cynthia Martin for 3-year terms ending June 30th, 2022.
Okay, is there a motion for the appointment?
So moved.
Second?
All right, any discussion? Okay, all those,
Well, how many more openings? Sorry.
2.
2 more. This is the last one, or you have?
this is
2
4 and
more
5.
after this.
Oh, okay, got you.
Yeah, so we need 2 more.
All right, thank you.
Any other discussion? All right, all those in favor of appointing Virginia Franklin and Cynthia Martin to the Recreation Advisory Committee, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, they're not in the audience, but welcome Virginia Franklin and Cynthia Martin to the committee. And as we said, we're still looking for 2 more people to complete that board, so anybody who is interested, contact the city clerk or fill out the form online. That would move us on to the next item on the agenda, which is the city administrator report.
Yes, I received word today from our city engineer that we will hopefully be moving forward with the street project for this year, which is the 11-mile work. If you recall, we received the bids a month or so ago, and they were a little bit higher than we had anticipated. So this time, the bids have come in closer to what was projected. So assuming that the state accepts those bids, I think it's on Monday, we will be moving forward with the construction work to start on September 3rd. And this will go over to next year, and with completion looking like May 31st of 2020. We will be reaching out to the businesses along the service drive to make certain that they're aware and how the traffic will be handled. And we just finished the concert season. From what I hear, it's been a record turnout, so it's been just great positive enthusiasm and participation, so we're really excited about that, and also thrilled that it's over. And this Friday, we're having the back-to-school rally, and a number of organizations are participating in that. There's free face painting from a face painting robot. Oakland County Parks will be there with their bounce houses. The Southfield Fire Department will be there, a SWAT truck from Oakland County Sheriff's, hopefully, the bike radio from the Lathrup Village Police Department, Play Your Way with a video game truck, and the School of Rock Farmington Puppet Show and children's book reading, all free activities, along with the giveaway of the school bag. Book bag with school supplies for the first 300 who participate, and free hot dogs, chips, and pop. So we're really excited about that, and we thank our sponsors, which include the Lathrup Village Women's Club, Myers 8 Mile Foodland, Starbucks, Sun Communities, Downtown Lathrup Village, I don't know what that is, and Southfield, Michigan. So it's a group effort, and we're really excited about bringing this to the community this year.
What time did you say that was?
That is 6, is that 6 to 8?
Back to school?
Yeah, I think it's 6 to 8 p.m.
Yep.
The Fall Fest, as was mentioned, is October 19th, and we're just now pulling together all of the activities that will be associated with that. We're expanding the classes and programs that we're going to be offering, and I know that Councilwoman Donna Stallings had asked about that, in particular with the children. So some of those include, for seniors, looking at a hustle, bridge, and walking club workshops and monthly movies, bringing Tai Chi and Flip Art Studios here to offer art classes for adults and seniors. Chris is working on the Nutty Scientist to introduce a robotics class for kids on Saturdays. And One Life Fitness is going to start a free monthly equipment orientation for the gym downstairs, and they'll be introducing a private training option in the fall. And they're scheduling a meeting with South Oakland County Soccer to discuss a partnership with them as well. So there's a lot going on, and we're really just trying to get into the swing of offering more programs and activities for all of our residents.
What time is that? You said October 19th?
Yes, I don't know if the times have been
Okay.
finalized.
All right, I'll just put all day.
And one of the things I also want to point out to you, we have truly increased our visibility on social media. And one of those noteworthy items is that nearly 16,000 people and more than 1,800 engagements have come through Facebook, largely due to the promotion of Lord Yancey concert, just saying.
That's good. That's good.
So I think that concludes my report for you today.
Thank you. Thank you. City Attorney?
Nothing for me tonight.
Boards and commissions, anything from SEMCOG?
Nothing from SimCog. There was a training, but I'll get that to Dr. Cheryl coming up. But I did want to thank everyone, too, for coming out to meet the Lieutenant Governor. He was here at that wonderful Meet the Employee celebration that we had for our employees here at Lathrup Village. It was a wonderful celebration, by the way, of you guys. But then after that, we went upstairs, and the Lieutenant Governor came and explained, talked about the roads, et cetera. But I just want to thank the community that came out. We had a pretty good crowd. And he will come back. He apologized for breaking the first engagement and is planning to come back. He had a very good reason coming back. So that's it for me.
Ian, did you have anything on recreation?
No.
Okay, then I will do
It's all been along.
Planning Commission. So I think we mentioned it a little bit earlier, but we had a joint meeting between the DDA, City Council, and the Planning Commission, and that was basically just a kickstart of the update to the master plan, which we also talked about a little bit earlier with respect to Gibbles Webster, where we approved their professional services. So that's moving forward. And then with respect to the Infrastructure Committee, just wanted to remind everybody that there will be a road and ditch improvement proposal on the ballot on November 5th, and we encourage you to get educated on the facts behind that proposal so that you can make an informed choice. To that end, we are having a town hall this Saturday, August 24th at 9 a.m., so I encourage you to attend that. And if you can't attend that, we will be having 3 additional town halls before the election. There's also a video on the website where we did an interview that basically talks about all the facets of the program. So it's about a half an hour, but it's a quick way of getting a lot of detailed information about the proposal in terms of what it includes, how much it's going to cost, why it's happening, and so forth. And I think that's it.
Just a quick question. Did you have a? It wasn't a town hall, but you had like a resident discussion on the infrastructure a couple of days ago, or did you? Are you planning?
I was
to do
wrong
it?
about that. Next week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're planning additional.
Yeah, so
personal-
what Ian's talking about is we're also doing more informal town halls. So at residents' homes where they invite their neighbors, and if anybody would like to have or host one of those in their house, we'd be more than happy to do it. The idea is we're probably going to try to have a dozen of those all throughout the city. We've got a few scheduled, and we're looking to do more. So if anybody is interested in volunteering to host one of those sessions, we're more than happy to do a session for you and your neighbors.
Okay. Do you have a date when you're going to have one? First one?
Tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
First one is tomorrow at my house.
That's
and
the official one. Okay,
Then there's another
gotcha.
one the next day at another
cool.
resident's home.
Okay.
We've got a few that we're working on scheduling right now. So
Okay.
and that's it.
Yeah, I'll try to attend that. What time do you want to kick that off?
I'll talk to you later. Anybody else have any other unfinished business?
No.
Okay. Motion to adjourn, anyone?
Make
So
a
moved.
motion, so we adjourn.
All right,
Second.
all those in favor of adjourning? Aye.
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 Okay, meeting's adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.